Welcome to Daily Records. I'm Tommy Burton, and today is an album that I think everyone knows and is familiar with. This is AC/DC's Back in Black. This was their seventh album. It was released on July 25th, 1980. This was the first album featuring vocalist Brian Johnson, and I think the big thing about this album, and most people know the story, is that this was the first album that followed the death of original lead singer Bon Scott, who died in 1979, as the band was really sort of ascending to major commercial success with Highway to Hell. The band had been around for 4 or 5 years by that point, writing and recording, to varying degrees of success and building a dedicated following through touring. And then Bon Scott died tragically, but the band followed up that death with probably their strongest album and probably most commercial, Back in Black. Now, most people know the title track that leads off the album, and it definitely put the band between Highway to Hell and Back in Black. This is what made the legend of AC/DC. It was just a huge record. It was recorded in Nassau, in the Bahamas, and produced by Robert John Mutt Lang, who worked with the band several times to very much success. It was written by guitarist brothers Angus and Malcolm Young, and the lyrics were by vocalist Johnson. And it was, it's a hard rock album. It's got one of the most solid rhythm sections in the world, with bassist Cliff Williams and drummer Phil Rudd. It features Brian's just gnarly vocals, that gritty vocal sound. And I think it sold around 50 million copies throughout the world. So it's one of the biggest selling albums ever. There was a huge tour that followed this album. And like I said, the commercial success of this album was just unprecedented. But in addition to the title track, Back in Black, it also features You Shook Me All Night Long, as well as another sort of minor hit, Hell's Bells. But other big songs, too, on here were like Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution and Shake a Leg. Just that driving AC/DC riff-heavy sound. The production is just solid. This is an album that a lot of people go to when they want to test out their sound systems. There's Angus right there in the middle hanging out. And mine is an Atlantic, but it is a Robert Ludwig mastered copy, so it's got that hot sound. And this is an album you can just turn up, crank to the max, and rock out. AC/DC is not known for being experimental or going out on a limb with their sound, or they're not going to throw you any curveballs. You kind of know what you're getting with AC/DC, and this album is pretty much it. I mean, if you put this album on, you've heard pretty much all the AC/DC albums in some form or another. The difference is maybe just the sound. One of the things about AC/DC that I really think gets overlooked, because they're such a great hard rock band with such a solid rhythm section. One of the things about AC/DC is the space between the notes. They really play into that and make music out of it. But, AC/DC writes and records really good pop songs, like with good melodies. Listen to a song like You Shook Me All Night Long, and the hook of that song is really pop friendly. Shoot to Thrill. It's got a great guitar riff, that just drives the song. But there's a lot of AC/DC material that has a pop sensibility, which I think kind of sets them above. It's just not all crunching, like in-your-face kind of heavy metal stuff. But the wildly successful, very popular 1980 Back in Black from AC/DC is today's Daily Record. Like, comment, subscribe, share down below. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. And check out my other channel, Tommy Burton's VC channel, where I go into more depth and talk about different range of subjects. And in the meantime, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another Daily Record.